kids come in and help when I need help. And what I'm also letting you know that is that I just got that note from here from about now we're recording, is that I enjoy my work. But this positive prior concept is what I'm known for, because you're going to get, talk about customer service, you're going to talk about how you feel about yourself. So I'm going to ask you questions, and what I would like you to do is respond in chat, because there are a lot of you. And everybody starts talking, it's not going to work. So just respond in chat. And so in our introductions, what I'm talking about is that, with this course, just like all of them, they're going to have this concept in them. I do have here our I love introductions, but it's too many. I can't get everybody's name. I can't get everybody to say something positive about themselves, but I will get a lot of you today. There is a handout that goes with this course. I will bring it up and I will share it, so you'll see it comes on. The learning objectives today. The learning objectives are to teach the importance of a positive self-image, as I said. We're going to talk about positive parents. How many of you are parents? Just give me a couple of chats, or throw your hand up. How many of your parents, grandparents? Yeah, I see a whole bunch of it. Yeah, you can get some of you know how to use this thing. I see the hands going up. Being a positive parent. You hear me talk about that today. I did this course for Columbus Schools last year for the SEL program, the social emotional learning. And what it was called then, it was called the positive ways to work effectively with diverse parents, or something along those lines. And so I modified the training to include teachers, but also non-teachers. I know some of you are bus drivers, some of you are administrative people, some of you are secretaries. So you'll see me do a little bit of both in here. And also, the course has always had parents in it, of course, and then it's also always had, different kinds of entities that are part of the school. We're going to talk about what's meant by a diverse families. And I want to tell you this too. There's some things we're going to talk about that you may not be as comfortable with. But I do want you to be receptive and be open-minded, because I'm talking about diverse families, all kinds of families, and you'll see what I mean when I get to that. We're going to talk about what all children need to thrive, and then 10 positive ways to help children feel positive about their families. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is 20 ways to celebrate and promote positive families and children. What are the attributes of a positive self-image? Show me in the chat. What do you think? How can you tell someone is positive? Throw something up here in the chat. Let me see what you all come up with. How can you tell someone's positive? They smile. Yes, absolutely. Attitude, body language. Good one. Good one. Confidence in their swag. Love that. Friendly, energetic. That's what you can tell by the way they walk, the words they use. Now, it's easy to act positive and talk positive. A positive self-image is another component. It's that when things are going well, it's easy to be positive, but when things aren't going so well, how do you maintain that positive self-image? It's a little bit different from adding that component there too. That positive self-image. When things aren't going well, business isn't going well, children are acting up, how do you stay positive? How do you maintain it? Anyone? Prayers, I might say prayer. How can you maintain that positivity when things aren't going well? Read the Bible, somebody said. See the silver lining in all things. Good one. Breathe. Good one. Good one. Take a deep breath. Deep breath. Good one. Good one. You all get what I'm saying. You go. That's right. Absolutely. I'm gonna go to the next one here. We talk about the posi people, and again, it's a phrase that is part of our company. We call posi managers, posi parents, posi teachers, and we're doing this for 28 years. So a lot of people know what I'm talking about. So I want you all to know when I say posi people, I'm talking about you all. Why are posi people more accepting of families who are different? I'll be telling you here in a little bit what differences mean, but just off the top of your head, why are posi people more accepting of families who are different? Pop it in the chat there. Why are they more accepting? If you feel good about yourself, being nice, why would the point of view, empathetic, good one, more open-minded, positive, inclusive upbringing, good one, mindset, excellent, excellent, excellent. Exactly what I'm looking for. How do they demonstrate? How do they demonstrate that they're accepting of families that are different? How do they demonstrate? How do they let a family know you're okay, or let someone know who's different that they're receptive to them? Non-judgmental. They look at from everyone's different, non-judgmental. How can we tell? The way they communicate. How do we tell? Inclusive language, good one. Speaking to them, absolutely. Just eye contact, that's a good one. Acknowledging them, being welcoming. Excellent, excellent. All right, you all on the roll. Are you comfortable with differences? I want you to be honest about this. Not everybody's comfortable with differences. Are you comfortable with differences? See the chat's moving here. Let me see what everybody's saying here. I know a lot of people say yes, yes, yes. Listening, yes, yes, yes. Anyone not comfortable?
Sometimes.
Compassion, it depends. It depends. Good one.
There you go.
Want to get to know people. As an introvert, not always. I see that. Good one, good one. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next one here. All of our trainings, I should say this in this respect to y'all, all of our trainings are derived with 6 hours of content. So a lot of things we won't be to talk about today, but we'll do the best we can in the time period that we have. I want you to, I'm going to make a statement here. Keep in mind, most people are comfortable with their own kind, people who look like them. People who look like them racially, people who look like them culturally, people who go to the same churches that they go to, people that with their same native language, in their own neighborhoods, work with people like themselves. Well, you think that's true?
I think so.
What do you think about that? Most people are comfortable with people who look like them. Yes, absolutely. This is true. Now, that's why I want to get that, off the cuff here is that sometimes is that when people get out of their comfort zone and then maybe they have some problems. Here's what I said here. I enjoyed learning from other people, the blessed. Well, you guys, so many of you all, they just put it up there. You have to think outside the box. Are you willing to change? When I bring this question up, that there may be some being uncomfortable. Are you willing to change? Are you willing to change your attitude about it? You have to think outside the box. Change is good. See some people saying yes. Are you willing to change? Yes, yes. For the better. I think we do it better. Okay, yes, absolutely. All right. Good one, good one. So got some people willing to change. And then we're just going to switch here to teachers with. A lot of teachers, you see in your building who are very, very good about their classroom. You can walk in the classroom, you can see kids of different cultures, and kids who are of different cultures and races. You all have a little bit of everybody in Columbus schools, and I've gone to lots of different schools. And sometimes you go in the classroom and everybody looks the same, or whether the artwork, it's a demographics of kids who all look the same, mostly white kids. And so when the kids are in there, if a kid is Somali, or if a kid is Asian or whatever derivative of Asian that they are, they want to see photos and books that look like them. So what Posse teachers do, and I call them Posse teachers, they're thinking about diversity. So when they're thinking about it and how they want their classroom to look, and they're also maintaining their positive safety. So they smile, they greet the kids when they come in, they know each parent's name and the child's name. And you all can attest to this. A lot of the children's names are difficult. They're difficult to pronounce, and so, but what it is that these teachers learn how important it is to know kids, to know the kids' names, and that the kids know that you want to pronounce their name correctly. And one little boy, his name was Abraham, and I kept saying Abraham, and he kept saying Abraham. It's different. It's important to him. I had to learn to say it correctly. The classroom is a showcase of diversity, art, music, literature, and pictures on the wall. They understand that each child loves and values their caregivers, so they want to see pictures of families and adults who look like them. And they practice the golden rule, meaning that they treat everyone the same. It's not like, okay, the kids, the kids who they think are the cute kids, are the ideal kids. Always say good morning. Someone sitting here in the chat. Just about 80% of the kids name good one, good one, good one. I said, that's a look. I love that. So I said 80% of the kids' names out of about 800 kids. That is an effort. Very good effort. That was Yolanda that said that. Wonderful. Now, here's the other thing. I'm going to go too fast here. Diversity. What is diversity? Diversity is everything that makes people different from each other. This includes many different factors. I won't read all these things, but of course, the ethnicity, the race, the gender, sexual orientation. We'll get into that a little bit. Socioeconomics, their abilities. Different kids have different abilities. Their age, their religious belief, political convictions. Now we find out how kids feel about, they have politics. Kids are also, representative of their families when they come to school. And then what the University of Rhode Island talks about defines diversity in the classroom is understanding each student brings unique experiences, unique strengths and ideas to the classroom. So teachers who embrace this know that it is important to have a representation in the classroom. The kids are comfortable being themselves. In a positive school environment, this is everybody. This is the bus driver who's getting the kids on the bus, that he knows how to, to greet, and the importance of greeting kids that are from different cultures, that he is greeting, even if you don't know the language, but the smile is welcoming. The positive school environment, there's respect, there's communication, there's positive talk, there is encouragement, there is fairness, there's praise, there is a committed teacher, there's fun and there's humor. We want to have fun, want to enjoy each other. There's learning taking place and children becoming their best selves. So that's just in a nutshell, what a positive school environment. And as someone said, treating everyone with respect, kindness, learning from others. Oh, love it. I love my ESL students who can learn so much from other cultures. That's excellent. And then someone else here said, Antoinette said here, it is a safe place. Absolutely. That's how we look at a positive school environment. And that includes everybody. That's the groundskeeper, that's the secretary, that's, everybody, that's working in the school building, because kids get to see everyone, that everyone gets to feel a part of it. We'll give you a little bit more on this because, as you all know, and you've been looking at some of the things that are going on around the country, but I do want to give you in a nutshell what's happening. The United States is browning. It is browning very, very fast. In fact, the world is browning. And so what's happening?
Apparently, there's going to be an Asian influx.
And sometimes what's happening, I hear somebody talking, sometimes what's happening is that a lot of people are upset about this. And so I want to give you all the stats. So we're going down here to this bottom one. And it talks about that slightly more than half of the babies born in the United States today are a racial or ethnic minority. And then by 2015, we crossed over, to about 40%. So about 40% of the kids that are born are really, and also families of the overall population is about 40%. That's significant. And so what they're talking about is by 2060, it's going to be 56%. So people of color are going to, as far as population, I'm not saying collectively around the world, people of color dominate. We are the dominant culture, culturally, I should say, as far as color. There are more people of color in the world than there are white people. And so what's happening in the United States is lots of changes going on. We'll just give you a little bit of tidbit of that and see what's happening in the chat. And see, teach some of the things I always wanted to keep things positive. Is our home away from home. Somebody's talk about that, being at school, good one. And so the thing about it is that as people get upset about it, they start thinking, well, I don't like these people. I'm not comfortable with these people coming over here. We've had people that have come because of immigrants, and in Columbus is a mecca for people that are coming from all types of countries. And so we've seen it a lot, but as you start getting in outside of Ohio, sometimes people get a little bit stressed about it. I'm not saying that it's not, everyone is as welcoming in Columbus area as they should be, but there's a lot of diversity in this area. So, okay, now what happens is this: who's responsible? Now, who is responsible? This might be, it's not a trick question. I want you to feel honest about it. Who is responsible for teaching children to respect other kids? Who's responsible? Put it in the chat. Who's responsible? Everyone. So I said parents, everyone, parents. We all are. The world, everyone. Parents, we, the village. It starts at home. Love that. It does start at home. It does start at home, because sometimes what happens is the school will help to share more information. And now what's happening is that a lot of parents are telling schools, no, I don't want my kids learning this. I don't want my kids learning this. So I said the staff does. Everyone does. Yeah, it takes a village. It takes all of us. So parents, if parents have an open mind, it's going to make a huge difference. If not, then the kids in school or teachers in school or everyone in the school building is going to help kids to understand that there are differences and that we respect each other. And that's going to be number one. I'm big about that. You know, again, I'm also saying that parents have a very big impact. This might said here, Dora said, adults should reinforce being respectful by showing respect for all. Absolutely. Parents first. Joanne said, yes, parents first. Absolutely. But if the parent does not do it, if the parent is not receptive to differences and diversity or the changing demographics, then it's going to be on the schools. All right. I'm giving you my viewpoint on that. Let's switch here and talk about some grandparents. How many of you are grandparents raising kids? They are in your home and you're the one who is the primary parent. Anyone? Put it in the chat. Because one of the things that's happening is that we also have sometimes families, you know, for whatever reason, the parent can't take care of their kids. And so the grandparent ends up taking it. And some of you are big parents. She said, not yet. And then somebody said, myself and my husband, yes. Parents of the child, yes. Parents of the child's first teacher. Forgive me here for stumbling here. Anybody? Not yet. Okay. Anyone else? I have 2 granddaughters I'm raising. Yes, Ruth. Live with my children, grandchildren. Good multi-blended family there. Sometimes there's mothers and fathers, or there's parent and a grandparent, or there's a single mother and a parent, whatever the situation is. Multi-generational homes. Then I said, yes, my first grandchild. Now, this is also significant for a child going to school and they're not saying mommy or daddy, or they're just saying daddy, or they're saying mommy, but this time they're saying my grandmother. You know, and that's different for them if their grandmother is the primary caregiver, or their grandparent is the primary caregiver. So grandparents raise their children for a variety of reasons. Most of these reasons reflect difficulties experienced by grandchild's parents, which prevent the parent from caring for the child. So this is part of a family, and understanding that and helping these parents to feel good about themselves. I'm suggesting, and a lot of schools already do this, they talk about Grandparents' Day. This is a Grandparents' Day happening in Columbus schools. Anybody have that experience where you come in and you're like, hey, we're celebrating grandparents. You may be the dominant parent or the primary parent, but those of you who are the extended parents, like me, you know, I have my daughters raising my grandchildren. They're doing pretty well, but I am very hands-on with my grandchildren. In fact, I sent a greeting this morning talking about what I was going to be doing today, but also letting them know that I want them to read about Ruby Bridges. As one of the things, I sent them a video. I said, yes, not yet. We don't help. If we don't help our children, who will? She said, I love being a grandparent. Good one, good one, good one. Absolutely. Grandparents, is there a Grandparents' Day celebration in Columbus schools? Anybody seen it? Some schools are doing it. A lot of times I see it in the elementary schools. Sometimes I see it, I definitely see it, a lot of it in Head Start. All right, I can't get to all of these, but when we look at these kids, just look around these kids. There's one little girl here in the front here with her hijab on. So the thing about it is this, is that when we look at families, a lot of people are okay with differences so long as they dress like us. And again, I'm saying us with quotations here. So long as they don't try to look different. Kids are in this day and age, when I was growing up, when my kids were growing up, a lot of kids felt the need to conform to the Western dress. Now, if they have a native dress or traditional wear at home, this is what they wear, and it is acceptable, I feel, and long overdue. But it took a long time for kids to get comfortable doing this. And so, so we see kids that are coming with all different types of cultures coming to school, and they're wearing their native dress. What do you think about that? Is that a good idea? We say grandparents stay. 15 grandkids. Oh my goodness. How do you feel? Should kids all look the same coming to school? Can they wear their native clothes? That's a different family. She said, I must have a problem with parents telling their kids to fight. I see that they say that. I think it's gorgeous. It's awesome if they wear their native clothes. Excellent. Thank you, Michelle. Yep, I say, be who you are. Yes, the native clothes. Excellent, excellent. Good one. And some people say, I'm unsure. I understand that too. Some people say, so I said here, I prefer uniforms. Sometimes uniforms are, yes, not for everybody, but sometimes uniforms may not allow for certain kids of a certain group that may not be, if say the girls are supposed to wear skirts and the skirts are too short or whatever, all those type of things. I won't try to get into everything, but you all say, somebody said they have mixed feelings. I appreciate that. I want you to think about these things, even if you don't feel comfortable talking about it, but you've got a chance to see what I'm talking about. Why do children need to learn tolerance? Why should they learn tolerance? We talk about this because one of the things here, I mean, it's somewhere here, but some parents welcome the fact that we live in an increasingly diverse society. I got it right here on the flap there. Others may feel more hesitant, especially if they haven't had much exposure to people from different from themselves. Many kids are way ahead of their parents regarding exposure to cultural differences, their circle of friends, their schoolmates, and their athletic teams. They're seeing all kinds of things. But then, how do we have parents able to work with kids and be receptive to kids, and they're not comfortable with it? So they can learn, they can understand differences. Absolutely. Parents, it would be nice if parents help. Anyone else? Understanding others? Kids need to, yes, they absolutely need to learn tolerance. Parent, and it says here, I'm gonna read this last paragraph. Still, parents should help their kids prepare to live and learn and work in communities that will become even more diverse. Teaching tolerance is important, not just because it is part of our American heritage, but because the person who learns to be open and to differences will have more opportunities in education, business, and many other aspects of life. Absolutely. The better you are able to work with different people for yourselves, you are working with lots of people in the Columbus School, but also it's also good for your kids going on and growing up. So I said, learn acceptance, honor differences and diversity so that they are closed-minded. Absolutely. Parents' support is so limited. Absolutely. A lot of parents today are not as, I shouldn't say a lot, but there are some parents who are very uncomfortable with this. And so it is very important that we start thinking now how to have our children feel comfortable. 10 positive ways to celebrate unique children. Be a positive role model. I call it a positive role model, but being a role model. Giving praise and affection in your voice. And when you talk to a kid, that you say, hi, hi, John, hi, Arlene, hi, Keisha, hi, Ramon, whatever, and that it sounds like you are accepting of them. Listen effectively, help your student to focus on the positives. Advocate for students. If the kids not look like they're doing well or being, included on the playground, get other kids to go over and play or round them up together. What I like when teachers do is when they move kids around and shift around, to different tables and things like that. Encourage your student to take risks. Talk positively about others. This is very, very important. A lot of times people get comfortable when they're at home and they say, well, those kids are like this, these people like that. It's important that you talk positively about others. Teach tolerance and respect in the classroom, celebrate diversity with a purpose in mind, and encourage multicultural friendships. Let's see what you all said in the chat. Can the Columbus schools to be in a diverse culture? Good one. Love students and as a community to grow different levels of tolerance. There are different levels of tolerance. They're very, very much so. The thing is this, that if we're open-minded, we will also adjust, because it's for some people it's not easy, and I don't make judgments about people unless it's something that's really getting pretty bad. And here's what I'm talking here about. I'm talking here about kids, children showing early signs of intolerance. If they're showing early signs of intolerance, it's coming from home. Put downs, taking things away from other kids, name calling, hitting, fighting, avoidance, making faces at other kids, smirking, hand gestures, moving away, uncomfortable demeanor, mimicking, mimicking how a kid talks. Why do you do this? Why are you wearing that? So the thing about it is this, is that it needs to be nipped really, really quickly. And so that the kids are not showing intolerance. We'll go here a little further with that. And then kids showing signs of prejudice. Now, the other one was intolerance, like, I don't like these kids. Now, here it comes when it shows signs of prejudice, refusing to interact with those kids. Those are signs of prejudice. Unwarranted signs of fear. I'm worried about them. They might hurt us, or they're terrorists. Unchecked displeasure, a willingness to victimize, wanting to hurt certain kids, pick on certain kids. Ostracism. Don't play with so-and-so. Using the N-word, sexist term. Oh, you're gay. It's always something negative about it. Aggressive behavior towards certain children, stalking and bullying behavior, including texting. Now, these are signs of prejudice, and I'm talking about children getting it. Just mean, they're taught behavior, they just show respect to each other. Absolutely. Absolutely. And this happens. This is also happening with children. Children can show signs of prejudice. And when we see this, we're seeing it coming in the classroom. We can say it's coming from home. Now, that does not mean after all the years that I have been doing this, that I have not met some teachers that are prejudiced. I go ahead, kind of go into all of these things, but I've had teachers that have made some uncomfortable statements, and it's rare. Or an administrator that have said, well, I have these type of kids coming in and they don't know that I'm very, very inclusive of all children. And sometimes people off the cuff may say certain things. You all know what I mean. For managing diversity in your classroom or in the cafeteria, wherever kids are, on the playground, whatever it is that you're doing, being a positive teacher or a positive parent or a positive person role model, maintaining a positive and a nurturing environment. Don't allow stereotyping to go unchecked. When you hear a kid saying, well, those kids, they're dirty, or I don't like the way they look, or they're going to grow up to be this. Don't allow kids to stereotype. Always talk positively about physical and mental characteristics. Now, I didn't mention this, but I should mention it now since I have it here. There are kids that are disabled, or differently abled, I'd like to say, and that they're not made fun of. A lot of school districts that I'm in, the kids are inclusive. They're not separated. When I was growing up, they had a separate class for the kids that were, they call the special needs kids. And so now a lot of the kids are mainstream. It's hard to stay positive when students are putting instructional assistants down and saying we are not teachers. You are teachers, Sandra, absolutely. And it's important what you do. Absolutely important what you do. And sometimes what's happened is that we do need to make sure that the teachers and administrators make this a point that everyone who's working with kids in the classroom is a teacher. It doesn't matter about the certification. That's a whole different matter. But you're teachers. As grandparents, you're teachers. We're all teachers. Bus drivers, you're a teacher. You're educating children. Have a zero tolerance for put downs. Teach conflict management resolution. So all these things are important. And thank you for your comments about that. Why celebrate diversity in the classroom? One of the things, it is important for children to feel positive about their own race, their ethnicity, their culture, their gender, their physical limitations, and to have pride in their own heritage. It is very, very important that it is taught in the classroom. Let's see what's in the chat here. As I said, that's not exclusive if you're an adult. Absolutely. I think somebody said it here in the end. Let's see if I can get that at the top there. I can't come to schools. Taught behavior, yes. Hard to say, stay positive when students can say it that way. Amen. Some teachers that feel a job to do. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It is very important, that we celebrate class. And this is deliberate, that we celebrate diversity in the classroom. It's very purposeful that you're doing this. Children in ideal school settings feel valued. This is all kids. Respected, protected. Very key word here, that they feel protected, nurtured, happy, smart, determined. All these things that help to shape them for goal setting. We'll stop there for a minute. All right, you, I'm gonna have a different chair here. I want to make sure I got through most of that PowerPoint there. I want to show the handout. Now, this is what I'm gonna need your help here with this. This was the handout. We were doing this for 3-4 hours. This is what we were talking about. This is the handout that goes with it. Now, what I'm asking you is someone share something positive about your family. Now, you can raise your hand, and Rika, you there? I don't hear Rika.
I am.
All right,
Here.
Rika. I would like someone, maybe a couple of people, share something positive about your family. Who would like to share? And then thinking about that, something positive about your family, and what ways do you celebrate diversity in your personal life? That'll be the second question, but this first one, someone share something positive about your family. I see some people in the chat, but if anybody want to speak out loud, it's fine. Family dinners every Sunday. We're hard workers, close bonded, love to laugh. We always try to make each other smile and laugh, and it's supportive and loving.
Jordana, we have 2 hands that's raised.
All right.
We have Marsha Clark and Yolanda Drew.
Okay, go ahead and let them speak.
Go ahead, Marsha.
Hi, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, our family, we've often been called a group of wolves, and in a good way, that we are all very supportive of each other, and we are servants to our community and our church, and we put education as a top priority.
Love it. Why do they call you a group of wolves?
Well, we do, well, we used to, several years ago, we ran a couple of our contemporary services at church. Our son was the drummer, our 2 daughters are beautiful singers. My husband played bass guitar and I played keyboard. And so a lot of families in our church were like, wow, we wish we could. And we've done that since they were very young. And my son is 26 and still drums for the church. So, you know, we've done it for a couple decades actually now, almost. And a lot of people will refer to us as, oh, that family that is just always together. Well, they're getting older and that's not as much, but
Right.
we still have each other's backs.
Great, great, great. Good for you. Who else?
Ms. Yolanda Drew.
Yes, so my name is Yolanda. I am from Independence High School. And one thing about my family, my mom has always been the most positive person ever. Like, she's never met a stranger. We're from Chicago and we moved to Ohio like 20 plus years ago. We've had different family members, different friends of hers that have moved from Chicago to Ohio because of my mom. My sister's friends have moved to Ohio just because, you know, our family is just so loving. And I know a couple of people on this meeting have met my mom, and they know my mom is just a blessing to anybody that comes, you know, to her. And she passes that on to me and my sisters. I feel like we are positive people. My children are positive. And, you know what I'm saying? We always try to spread love and, you know, good energy. And, you know, that's what I try to do at my school with my kids.
Wow. Sounds great, Yolanda. Love it. Some of the chats here said, Mina, she said, positive and good words make kids look forward to coming to school. Absolutely. And somebody here said, I know some teachers and others think we don't do anything, but you do. I know you do. I'm very careful to treat all children the same. Kids for the family is always there. Family dinners together every Sunday. This is the positive things that you're doing. We're hardworking, close and bonded. Family game night, excellent. Love that. That is really a good way to bond. Family game nights, even meals together. A lot of people, my daughter, she's good about this. They always eat together. Family loves to laugh. We always try to make each other smile and laugh. My family is supportive and loving. We are a close family and is very supportive. During the pandemic, we always Zoom. This is Lynette. Excellent. Yeah, a lot of the pandemic really had an impact on families, especially those who are, big close families didn't get a chance to get together and see each other. Things are better now. They are getting better. Understanding, encouraging families, looking out for outreach projects. Good. Love, unconditional. Good ones. Good ones. Good one. All these are good. I know there's so many comments on here. Now let's go to this next one. In what ways do you celebrate diversity in your personal life? Want someone to be able to speak, and you can also put it in the chat. How do you celebrate diversity in your personal life? What are you doing? Who's gonna speak up? Let's see, by Jill's got her
Jill.
hand up.
Yes. Jill, you can come off mute. And then Sandra.
Great, thank you.
Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. One of the ways that I find that I feel more like I'm diverse more than most people is I live in the North Linden area. And that's really important to the kids that I see at school because I'm at Northland High School. I hear the kids a lot of times say, the teachers all don't live in my area. And so I always make a point to let them know, a lot of the kids know where I live because we all live in the same area. So they happen to see me in my backyard or whatever. But that really means something to them because I understand what they're going through because I live where they live too. So I understand what it feels like to have helicopters over your yard when you're having a picnic, or I understand what it feels like when you hear gunshots in your neighborhood. That in a lot of other areas, they never hear that kind of stuff. But in our area, that's a regular thing we hear all the time. So I think it makes them feel like that I understand them better, if that makes any sense. Yeah.
That makes good sense. Thank you.
And especially in a high school situation, they really want to have somebody they can talk to that they feel like can relate to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sandra?
Oh, I was just going to say that I'm trying to learn to like more diverse food, which was nice when we had multicultural dinners pre-COVID. So kids saw I made rice and beans, and I tried their sambusa, and
Oh my
so
goodness.
that was fun.
Good, good.
Yeah, we only have 4 minutes.
Oh, that's good. That's good. We stop at, what time do we stop? Because in 11:15?
Yes, it's 11:15.
Okay, all right. Somebody here on chat said we play Yahtzee every Wednesday evening on Google Meets to keep in touch, and we have been doing this since a great one. Our grandchildren bond us, laughing, traditions. Let me see here, I got 11 more down here. Live in the same area as students, good ones, Tina. Cooking foods from my native land. Cooking. A lot of food is one way that people really get to celebrate diversity. Okay, now make a list. When you think about, I won't do that one in here. Make a list of different types of diversity in your family. Yeah, let me take it back. Let's do that one. When you think about your family, because sometimes there's some things I excluded in this class because there's so many different things to talk about. But I have same-sex families. You saw in some of the photos, I have parents who live with 2 mommies and 2 daddies. I have parents that live with, children that live with 2 mommies and 2 daddies. And I have children that are mixed race. My family's mixed race. My grandchildren are biracial, white. And let's see what else. There are single parents. How many of you can share what type of diversity is in your family? We're talking about families now, not just they may be mixed culturally, mixed racially and ethnically and so on, but all those other things that I mentioned. Anyone? Different.
Hello,
Go ahead.
my name is Lolita. So my family is diverse. I have 2 children, but adopted 2 children when they were 7 and 9. They are now 31 and 34. I have a nephew who, and I'm learning the terminology, gay. I have a niece that's lesbian. My aunt is married to a white. My uncle Don and is white. So our family is very diverse. And I think they got into it with me from starting when I was foster parenting, and I just had the different nationalities of children. And I think that's what got me into special ed because they're so different. And that is the group that most people steer away from. So diversity for me is like waking up every day.
Right. Good one, good one, good one. That was good. Thank you. I'm looking here in the chat here. Anyone else want to pop in here?
I
Single
would like to
parent,
speak.
go ahead.
Yes, I came from a biracial family. My mother is white and my father is black. And then I'm the one that has the 15 grandkids. So it's very, very mixed in my family with my children and wives and my daughter's fiance. Everyone is kind of mixed around, biracial. I have biracial grandkids. In my extended family, as far as cousins, we have I have a cousin that's gay that is also married to a female, and I have her sister is married to a Puerto Rican, and they're on my Caucasian side of the family. So yeah, we're very diverse, which is great because all my kids can experience and see, and grandkids can see all the different cultures and see that we're all the same, basically.
Great.
No
And it's
matter
all family. It's beautiful.
or they see it all as we're just all family.
Yeah. And how you say your name? Is it Lucinda?
Lucina.
Lucina. That's pretty.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Thank you.
Donna, I have Tammy who is raising her hand.
All right, Tammy, go ahead, Tammy.
Hi, guys. My family also is very diverse, and we have transgender, and we have gay boys and girls. And the older generation does not understand it. So like I'm in the middle of it. So I'm kind of explaining it, and they're a lot more acceptable now that they understand. But yeah, we have mixed races also, and a lot of a lot of traditions that are passed down from generation. We make homemade noodles that have been 6 generations now.
Wow.
So it's something they do every year.
Is that Italian? The noodles?
No, you'd think so. No,
Yep.
they're the egg noodles. My great grandmother made them. My grandmother, my mom, me, my daughter, and now their children all get together the night before Thanksgiving and make these delicious noodles. But it's weird that it's like 6. Yeah, I think it's 6 generations now.
Great. Thank you, Tammy. I see lots here. I hear a lot of people here. Anyone else? So I hear mixed race. My children has a transgender grandma. I'm a single mother of 3 kids. I'm a single parent. My mother's biracial. My brother's wife, Nikki, is African-American. Love her so much. Wonderful. And then diverse, Black and white, Jamaican, Indian, family mixed cultures. I'm from Colombia and my husband is French. Very cool. Christian and Jewish. Those are things that I'm talking about. Christian and Jewish. That was a time when they could not marry. Well, it was a great big hassle. They were going back since decades. I say decades. Nephew's gay. I have many different ethnic and cultural diversity. Hey Pete. Oh, somebody said hey Pete. Somebody says our son's godfather is a gay man. He's a very loved man, family friend. Children went to school where many of their friends and 2 moms do that. Many sleepovers and birthday parties. This is wonderful to hear. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about being positive. That when you look at people and you say, hey, they're family. That way, when the kids come to school, they can say and talk about, hey, mom and dad, or mommy and mom, or dad and pop, whatever, and that they don't feel uncomfortable mentioning their families. I got lots of messages here. Daughter's relationship with a Mexican man. Good one. All kinds of things here. Excellent. And with all this comes change in your household, and it's not easy for sometimes some of the older parents. Are you comfortable with it? I said earlier, well, now we just threw out some things here. Sometimes people are comfortable with some things, and they're not so comfortable with other things. And the more religious someone is, sometimes they become uncomfortable, particularly when it comes to transgender. I have some people who have said, okay, I'm okay with gay, but then trans thing. I'm okay with gay, but then the bisexual. You know, all these things also make up a family. Anyone want to say? I know you're putting yourself on the spot here, and not to be judged, but it is something that a lot of people are adjusting to. We're having a chat here. Family of biracial members. Good one. Here's another one. I have a nonverbal autistic brother, and I have both Republican and liberal and Democrat family members. LOL. Yes, I feel like they're divided in today's world, and we all like each other. It's all about listening, even when you don't agree. Excellent. Excellent. That's Morris. That is excellent. So nice to say that, because that's very true. Distant cousin, transgender. This is what I'm talking about. Even having a brother on because autism, the range is varies so much. And so being able to include everyone with all of that, that's a lot of different diversity, much less the political situation. I have seen families that have completely fallen apart because of politics. It's really quite ugly right now. All right, y'all, I'm gonna go here, see if we can get a couple more of these other ones here. When we think about the school, let's switch to schools. What do you think the schools can do? Let me find the best one here, because we won't be able to get all these here. When we think about school, let me go to the last one here. In what ways can the administrators and management help promote diversity in the building? What would you suggest to your school that they can do to promote different families, different diversity in your school building? Anyone? You can put it in the chat, or you can speak up. Some people say I celebrate diversity in my marriage. And then I'm going fast here. Go ahead, Tammy.
At Old Orchard Elementary, we have a lot of Somalians, and we also have Nepalians, and their parents will come on parent-teacher conference nights and do translations for us.
Good
So I
one.
think that's awesome that they can come in and do that.
That's good. That's good. Good one. You know, I've done some work for JFS, Job and Family Services, and at one time, you had to really get special permission, because sometimes the information is so private and personal, but they couldn't communicate, you know, and it was hard to get a translator. So this way you have someone from the family, makes things a lot easier. Just want to look at the chat here. Boy, you guys have been fantastic. Potluck dinners. I had somebody say here about she said, once the pandemic allows, I would love to have a night that allows families to have potluck style dinners with dishes from various cultures. That would be excellent. Yes, when the pandemic is over, it'd be nice to have it. Education about the LGBTQ community, very necessary. Very necessary. The pandemic does hinder a lot of things. We do need more education. We do need more inclusion. Celebrate holidays, but not also having to keep personal beliefs out of the classroom. Public school is not religious. Absolutely. Public school is not religious, but public school is a way to teach about different religions, you know, and do so in a way that it is education. You know, we can find out that there are people who are different religious groups. So a lot of times we do Christmas. I know the things have changed a lot in over the years, you know, what we call holidays and so on. I'm a Merry Christmas person. My last name is Shakur. The name was changed years ago. In fact, my entire name was changed. My ex-husband, we practiced Islam for a long time. I'm not Muslim, but I do respect the religion. But for a long time that we did practice. And then after divorce and so on, I found it was not the right, not the religion that, that I follow. I consider myself a spiritualist, but I respect all religions. But it is very, very important that we are inclusive about people and how other people see things. Multicultural Day. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Hi. So one thing I would like to add on to that is, especially with me being a Muslim myself, one thing that I've seen is I did have one teacher ask me, like, how can I help the students be included in the Christmas celebration because they're Muslim? And I wasn't able to give her a response because we don't do absolutely anything. The only thing we celebrate is Ramadan and Eid. But for me personally, I've never seen it be celebrated and or honored the way I see Hanukkah being celebrated or seeing Christmas being celebrated. And yes, we want to remove and say, oh, school is only for education. Let's remove the religious factors in it. But as soon as that snow time comes, oh, it's up in all. Soon as, you know, St. Patty's Day or Valentine's Day, oh, it's up and we ready to decorate. But it's like, if we're gonna have that energy, let's have it all the way across the board. If you're gonna do it for people who are Hindu, Muslim, Christian, or anything, but because you can't just say, oh, let's keep it one way and then continue to be like, oh, well, Merry Christmas.
Right, you're right. I absolutely agree with you 110%. Absolutely. It's very, very important that people, that children are able to see their religion being celebrated and highlighted just like everyone else's. So I would say keep doing that, you know, keep saying what you're saying, because it's long overdue.
Yes, I was going to say Taj should not have been put in that position. She should be teaching about Eid, and that's what's good. But there's nothing to make Muslims to celebrate a Christian holiday. I mean, the kindergartners, they decorate, they color the tree. It's more of a food related.
Right.
You know, that's about the only way to do it is celebrate the food.
Right, yes, exactly. Because I've seen a menorah being done, you know, all kinds of, in the coloring the books with the color sheets and so on, that they find a way.
And that see, with even with that, you think it's more so about food, but there's so much again that can actually be taught, because during Ramadan it's actually more of a self-help month. That's the time where you meditate. That's the time where you write down your intentions. If you have a life goal, you take that time to write it down and you center yourself and you say, other than food, what can I focus on to make myself a better person? That is really the basis of Ramadan. So, and that is healthy for children to learn. So we could put it more so on hey, this is a month where we're going to focus on intent. We're going to focus on goals. And we're going to focus on yourself. Something if you want to make it into a self, almost like yoga, it's healthy. So it's not necessarily just about the food, but it's, again, some kids, because they're only in school and they see the holidays, they're like, well, Ramadan is not fun. And that's not the case. It's just you don't see it at school. You
don't understand it. Yes, I've celebrated Ramadan. I've gone through it. Yes, it is wonderful. I love what you said and how you even gave a way to be able to celebrate it, you know, by saying, okay, this is what this religious group does, this is what Muslims do, and this is what you can do during Ramadan, and why don't we all get out our gold sheet and talk about what we're going to do and how we're going to feel better about ourselves and go through some, you know, self reflective moment. Marsha, what she says here, it's Rika. Hi, Rika. She says, Marsha Clark said, all three of my children went to CCS and in the middle school had an entire 4 months unit on different religions around the world. Their end project was a huge scrapbook with all the information they were taught and had gathered. She gave it to her youth pastor a few years ago, and it was a wonderful experience, even though we are a separate church and state district. Excellent. Yeah, and it doesn't cause any harm. This is all about education. Love it.
Hey, Jordana.
Yes.
I wanted to, two things. Marcy, I keep copying yours because you're directly sending the chat to me. So you may want to change that to everyone. But then also I see H. Hughes has an X up for no, and I wanted to make sure that he's acknowledged if he wanted to speak.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that in my building, I try to make all the children feel comfortable. And what we had talked about earlier about, you know, learning their names, I absolutely, every morning I sanitize each child in the building. Every morning after breakfast, they come through the line, I say good morning to them. And so next week is relationship week. So I hope everybody is going to do something positive and wonderful for the students. But I made a poster, and I'm going to be a walking poster next week. And I put all the different languages that we speak in our building on a poster. And I am going to walk around and say good morning to them in their language.
Wonderful.
So I have been working on that for the last week. So it's just something that I appreciate those students, because they teach me things that I don't even know about their culture. So I think it's just a blessing that we learn from them. And if we are not with if we're not with those children, then again, who are we going to be? Who's going to teach them?
Right.
Who's going to help
Absolutely.
them?
Love it. Love
So
it.
that's all I wanted to say. And
I
thank
think
you. This has been a great PD today.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Really has been.
Go ahead. I'm going to give the closing thing here. Anyone else want to comment before we go? I noticed some things in the chat, some wonderful things in the chat.
Yes, I wanted to say that what we do in around Christmas time, we have we go over all the different cultures, what they do for holidays, and we read about it, and we explain to the kids about the different things, and we even have videos of the celebrations, like Holi, they have in India, and then they have we do Ramadan, and we talk about that and what Ramadan is about with the kids. So we do a multicultural thing about
That's wonderful. I wish we had more time, you all. I'm going to do this last slide here because we're running out of time and it's time to go. And I'm trying to make it big here. It is so nice to have everybody commenting. I'm trying to make it big. You know what it is. I can't move my thing here somehow. I think, well, I didn't quite get it where I wanted, but here maybe. Anyway, I just go ahead and go on. 20 ways to celebrate and promote diversity in your families and with your children. Display diverse artwork, photos. Look around your home and see, what does my home look like? Go to the library. Encourage the sharing of family customs and traditions. Show videos of different cultures. Visit the museums. Cultural adventure in mind. Churches, synagogues, mosques. Teach a different language. Have a cultural dress day. You can also display diversity calendars. Prepare a diverse feast. A cultural feast. Multicultural friendships. Learn about the elderly, physically challenged. Keep an open mind. I'm flushing here. Politics. Talk about democracy and voting. I'm big on that. Those of you may not agree with everything I'm talking about. It's important for everybody to vote and for the vote to be counted. Invite someone different to entertain the class, celebrate Black History Month and others, and then find out about a variety of occupations and encourage individuality. I want to thank you all, and sorry for running over a little bit. I really, really enjoyed hearing you all today, and thank you very much. Rika, send them on.
Yes, thank you everyone for coming on. Typically there is a chat at the end of the professional development, but this time we are doing one at the end of everything. So you'll be able to do one evaluation and evaluate every group. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure that you do that. That is part of your attendance card, because some folks don't have their real names on here. So when it shows up in attendance on the Zoom, that's not really letting us know who you are. But when you get that evaluation, that's going to come up through your email. And so then you can get like your further attendance for that. So thank you, Ms. Jordana. Really appreciate it. Really enjoyed your presentation. She will be on again at 2:15. For anyone who couldn't get in, or if someone wanting a suggestion on what to attend in the afternoon, please suggest the Posse Power professional development.